Terry, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Hey, Joel, I'm not sure Terry's on quite yet.
Oh, okay, I was just about to ask you that. Thank you. I was having trouble getting in, but I finally found it. So,
Good deal. Good to have you back.
well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Sorry I was absent so much, but I'm back now. Thanks.
There, now can you hear me? Yes?
Yes. Hi, Terry.
Okay, hi. Just give me 1 second. Who do we have? Let's see. We've got everyone. Okay. So Desiree, let's see what you said. Somebody said in the chat. Hold on. Oh, it was the chat notes or something to the meeting. So do you want to go ahead and get started, Desiree, with the recording? Or it's already recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay, I can't hear you very well, but it could just be.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
I'll turn off this. So I just want to say I apologize, but I've been having really strange internet problems. So I'm all ready to like jump on my phone if my connection dies again. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Tucson Pima County Historical Commission Plans Review Subcommittee meeting of Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Call to order at 1:01 p.m. And I will go ahead and call roll. Terry Majewski is here. Andrew Christopher.
Here.
Right. Joel Ireland.
Here.
And Savannah McDonald.
Here.
Great. And thank you, Joel, for being with us today. We've missed you. So we're glad you're back. So, okay. Item 2 is review and approval of the 7/15/2025 legal action report / meeting minutes. And could I have a motion to approve as submitted?
So moved.
Okay. And who will second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay. If not, Terry votes aye. Joel?
Aye.
Savannah?
Aye.
Andrew? You there, Andrew?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So they passed unanimously 4-0. And I do want to mention something about them in our review process issues at the end of the agenda. Item 3 is summary of public comments, and I know that we have moved this up, but I wanted to ask you, Desiree, do we want to deal with them in front of each case if there are one, so that we don't forget the train of thought, or what do you think's better? Desiree, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Okay.
I've only received comments on one item, so we can wait for that item if you would prefer. That's for the 410 South 6th Avenue.
Okay, and was there another one that had to do with, was it 4A or 4B, and you sent us the LAR from the Historic Zone Advisory Board? But that we'll bring that up
That
later.
was yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
for
All
yeah,
right.
the only one that I got comments on was item 5B.
All righty, so we'll go ahead and get started with item 4, which is our historic preservation review cases. We review these under UDC section 5.8/TSM 9-02.0, Historic District Design Guidelines, and Revised Secretary of the Interior Standards and Guidelines. So case 4A is SD 0625 00091/TCRES 0425-01973 at 528 South 3rd Avenue. It's parcel 11707097A, and the applicant seeks to demo a front porch stairs and infill wall to match existing and install pool inside yard. And this is a full review. It's a contributing resource. So the main house is a contributing resource?
Yes.
Yeah, great. And so let's go ahead if you want to give any more staff comment, Desiree.
Yeah, so this went before Armory Park, and Armory Park meeting minutes were included in your packet. The committee voted to approve as proposed.
Okay. All right, so then who is presenting on this case?
This is Bob Lanning and Stephen Curti. Hi. Hello.
Okay, hi, Bob. Can you, let's see. I know I've probably had Stephen's name previously. Could you spell, is it Stephen PH?
Yes, it is. And Curti is CURTI.
Okay, and you're from Bob's firm, right?
Yep.
Okay, is there anyone else here on this case, or just Bob and Stephen?
I'm noticing that our client is here and I'm sure could answer questions if so be it.
I can.
And
There he is.
okay, is that Dave Oldman? Okay, Dave
Yes,
Oldman,
it
are
is.
you the homeowner,
I
Mr.
am.
Oldman? Okay.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, the reason I ask these questions is that I like to have the minutes, I like to have it up front rather than have Desiree and myself be scrambling around at the end trying to find out who was who. So, okay, very good. So do you want to share the screen, Bob?
Yeah, actually it's gonna be Stephen.
Oh, Stephen, perfect.
Okay, I have to give you permission. So, but it's under Bob Lanning's
Yes,
tile
correct.
name, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You should be able to.
Share.
Yeah, and Stephen and Bob, what we're going to do is we'll hear your summary and then we will ask you questions at the end rather than interrupt you and take time by asking questions in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, just to give you some background, we did an addition on the back of this home recently. And we got a permit, went through the historic review process for the addition, and subsequently Dave Oldman, the owner, has gone ahead with a pool design. And so we're here for this. Basically, the pool company submitted a permit for the pool design. And we ran into an issue where this front porch, there were some steps that went around to the back, or I guess to this northern side yard. And the pool designer realized that those steps needed to be removed. Thanks, Dave. They needed to be removed because they actually became a child could climb up on those steps and then jump over the fence and then be in the pool and potentially drown. And so, it was kind of realized that those steps needed to go away. And so they called for those steps to be removed. And when the plans reviewer saw that, they were like, oh no, you're demoing something, you need to go through historic review. And subsequently, it was kind of just like, oh, just in general, I guess we learned that pools should go through an HPZ process because of grading, and also the new fences are also subject to review. So that's what brings us here today, is the removal of some steps in that area, and then also the new fences that will be visible kind of on the side of the house here. So this is the, oh, sorry, yeah. So yeah, this is the site plan from the pool designer. And we can also go to our, can you guys see this now? Are you looking at a photograph or no?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, this is our HPZ material. So like, this is the front of the house, just for context. These are these steps. And, we're proposing to remove these steps and then fill in this little section of wall here with brick to match what's existing. Yeah, anything?
These steps are they are certainly not visible from the front, from 3rd Avenue. They're at the back of the front porch, so they're not.
Okay.
So.
This is our historic property inventory form. Another view. And then an aerial image, some context photos. Oh yeah, and these are the fences that we are proposing, which is so along the northern property line, we're kind of doing a more simple rustic corrugated steel fence, which is the bottom one. But then the sides, the side that faces the street, we're proposing a picket fence with spearheads, and but we're backing it with iron or with a perforated sheet metal to give some privacy to the pool area.
And that's 6 feet tall.
Yes. Yeah. If there's anything else to, oh yeah, this is the site plan again. And yeah, I think that covered. Oh, there is around the pool is slightly elevated. It's not flush with the ground. It's slightly elevated, and so on the east and south sides of the pool, they're going to wrap the wall of the pool with this stone to match kind of the foundations of the house. And how high is it? I think it's
18 inches.
Yeah. So it's 18 inches above grade. But all that is behind that fence that has the perforated metal.
Okay. Could you show, do you have a picture front on that shows into the yard where the pool is going to be? And then is the view of that side yard going to be completely obstructed? And is that an issue plans review? I mean, I think we need to think about that. I mean, you're still going to be, there's no fence in front of the house, correct?
No, on the north property line, which is this long one running east and west at the top of this drawing here, our new fence is just around the pool area itself. Out in front of that, heading all the way out to 3rd Avenue at the front, is a 4 foot high wrought iron fence, which exists and it's just existing to remain. And that's, I don't know, 30 some odd feet long. It's, it's,
Hey, Bob, if I may interrupt,
Yeah.
that there's an old wooden fence on my side which is rotting and falling down. So we wanted to continue this fence all the way to the street. The one that this fence here that exists is a wrought iron picket fence. That's what we're matching here and here.
But taller,
but-
right?
It's taller though, yes.
6 feet.
But the one on the street,
Yeah, this one.
yeah, is already there and it doesn't have the black perforated metal. It's
Correct.
see-through, correct?
It's
Okay,
correct.
okay.
There's a number of there's a lot of landscaping here, as you saw in the earlier photos. You really can't see back there.
should we look for those photos or we only have that one?
Yeah, I don't know if we quite have that angle, in this. Unfortunately, that bush is right in the way, but, and the,
No, I can
This
see,
is-
I can see that, I understand. So it's really, as
It's
we're
on the right.
facing this photo, it's to the right.
Right,
And this will be in the the foreground is where the pool will be, and you can see, if you look to the left, some of that vegetation all the way to the front.
yes.
Yeah, it's going to be here and here.
Okay. All right, who would like to ask questions next?
I can go. I mean, I think I understand it pretty well. I don't really have any questions.
Go ahead.
It was a little hard to understand if there's no demolition plan. So am I right that there's steps coming off the front porch that is to be removed? There's a sidewalk that's to be removed and another series of steps that's to be removed?
Correct.
yeah, there is like a pool deck. I guess I'll go to the site plan so we can look at
Mm.
that.
I guess I was just like, I was trying to understand because we just have the, proposed plan, I have the existing plan or the demolition plan. So I just want to understand, there's 2 series of steps that are to be removed and the sidewalk, right, along the building?
Right, that's
Yeah.
right.
And then what will the sidewalk be replaced with? Is that just DG?
I think it's these deck stepping
Those
pads.
are, yep.
Individual concrete pads to form kind of a walkway.
Oh, okay, but it's like pervious mostly, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
There's no basement to the house, is there?
No, crawl space.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's in the back of it's not in this area.
Okay.
Well, Savannah, do you feel that there should be a demo plan to show that? I mean, we're just hearing it verbally and there isn't really.
There is this demo note right here. It says demo front porch stairs and infill wall to match existing. But yeah, I agree. The pool designer did not make it crystal clear.
Well, and it's only those front porch stairs that are mentioned. It's that whole area that's being changed slightly, and there should be, you know,
Well, yeah,
Otherwise-
there's the back stairs too, right? And the sidewalk.
the ones that are directly across from those front porch back stairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no issue with that. I mean, it would be great to for documentation's sake, for clarity of everyone, and expectation's sake, to have a demo plan. But
And
I
I
get-
will
I get it.
note also, I just heard from our building reviewers today that, so the pool permit and then the work on the house, right, are separate permits. So you can't have architectural work on the pool permit. So you may need to create, separate plans anyhow. So to the extent that that can be better shown, which steps, right? Because the way it's written now, it seems like it could be applying to the front steps. It's not totally clear which steps.
So in the architectural plan, which one would include, Desiree, the fencing detail? The pool plan or the other?
So my understanding is the work on the actual house, right? So the porch, that shouldn't be in the pool plan or the pool permit application. So for our review, historic review, I think it's fine to put it all in the same package, but you may need to have those separate drawings anyhow. So that was kind of my point. You might need to provide a demolition plan anyways, so that if that's helpful for us to review, just putting that
Yeah.
out there.
Right, and then be very clear on what's happening with all those walls, because you said, I think Mr. Oldman, you said you wanted to continue that wall on the far left, that goes all the way to the street, and then you would keep the existing wall, the picket fence along the street, correct?
Correct. On the right side,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it's just confusing because you don't want inspectors to come by and say, well, what was done here? And confuse it with the pool. So, I'm sorry, do you have anything else, Savannah?
No, all good. Thank you guys. Looks good.
Okay, Andrew,
Sure. Just to clarify, so the pool is raised 18 inches and is that rock, there's a picture of like rock veneer. Is that going
Correct.
around that pool?
Correct.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can you maybe just trace out where that rock veneer is going? There's a note on there, I think that says 18-inch retaining wall with stucco, and I wasn't sure where the stone starts.
So let me show you.
Yeah, I think you had it. There.
Okay. Great. And then on the pool fences, you had the one that's on the front and then the one for the neighboring property. I
Mhm.
think it's just the next page up. Can you, for the neighboring property one, is this looking from inside your property or from the
Correct.
neighbors? Okay, great. All right. Yeah, I think this all looks good to me. I agree that if we could show the demo on here, that would help. Just to document what was removed, but it looks good to me.
yeah, and what would be replacing it, so, okay, Joel?
Yeah, I agree with my fellow commissioners, yeah. So, no new question.
Okay, thank you. So who would like to think about putting together a motion for this one?
I'm happy to. I think the only note or comment is just to provide a demolition plan for the proposed removals next to the house of the 2 sets of stairs and sidewalk. What do you guys think?
Well, do you feel that
Yeah.
we need a better replacement plan for that, or will that be part of that won't be part of the pool plan, or will it?
I mean, I think they're showing
They're working
the
on,
replacement.
yeah, the pool company was going to be providing that landscaping around the pool too. So that's all kind of going to be their piece of work.
Oh, no, I'm just seeing one additional question. There's a series of like piers and site walls north of where those stairs are being demoed. Is that new? I didn't see it in the picture.
We're not doing that. That was erroneously drawn. There's not new piers there.
Okay.
That's just not there. So what you'd see if you're looking from the front, from Third Avenue all the way back, you'd see the steel picket
Yeah.
fence. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it looks like
Yeah. those
Armory
are-
Park noticed that as well and included
Yeah.
that in their motion.
Yeah, we probably
Yes,
want to
that's right.
include that.
Okay.
All right, and then could I see the step area again? Let's see where that is, where they're gonna be removed. Where's that picture? Sorry.
Okay.
Yee.
Like very second. Yeah, there it is.
There we go. Okay, and do we have, let's see, that other one.
It's basically 3 steps. Yeah.
And then the other one is also 3 or 4 steps to the right? Is that on that same photo?
There you go.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah. So there still will be like a raised deck over there, but yeah, it's gonna be kind of redone by the pool company, yeah. As it's drawn on the site plan.
Yeah. Okay. All right, go ahead, Savannah.
So yeah, well, just to review real quick, I'll note to provide a demolition plan, note with a new configuration too, and then that the 3 masonry cap posts shown on the site plan have been removed from the project. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yep.
To
Yeah.
be correct in the plan, yeah.
Alrighty. Oh,
Okay, go. for it.
and yeah, let me add that. And plans to be updated.
Are you guys just doing sensors on the exterior doors, or do you plan to modify any of those?
Well, I guess I'll let Dave speak to that. I was assuming there'd be sensors, but Dave?
Yeah, Cimarron Pools is doing the work, so they've already noted that they've got to meet all these codes, so.
Okay.
That what, I know they mentioned the
The alarm.
sensors on the doors.
Yeah, as long as if they're all sensors and there's no modification to the door, then no concerns here.
Okay. Go ahead,
All right. On the matter of SD-052, sorry. Let me start over. On the matter of SD-06025-RES-0425-01973 at 528 South 3rd Avenue, I move to recommend approval of the project as presented, including the following comments. For the applicant to provide a demolition plan for the proposed removals next to the house of the 2 sets of stairs and sidewalk, along with the new proposed configuration, and that the 3 masonry cap posts shown on the site plan have been removed from the project and plans to be updated accordingly.
okay, is there a second?
Yep, I'll second.
Okay. Is there just further discussion? Okay, if not, Terry votes aye. Joel,
Aye.
Savannah,
Aye.
Andrew.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously 4-0. And Bob, I'm sure that you and Stephen know the drill, or do you have any questions about the way forward, or?
Just wait for a letter, right?
Yep.
And then we'll resubmit. And we'll make those
Okay.
changes, yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay, item 4B is SD 0525-00081/TC-RES-037, 0325 at 724 North 2nd Avenue. This is parcel 117-033-630. Mark Evers, historic existing residence, interior renovation, and very minor cosmetic exterior elevation revisions with a new garage, porch, and disabled ramps additions. This is a full review, and I'm assuming that the existing residence is the contributing resource. And do you want to give us some background on this case, Desiree?
Yes, thank you, Chair Majewski. So this project was reviewed previously by the West University Historic Zone Advisory Board. And I'm just pulling up their LAR, which was provided to you. And our presenters are here, Mr. Maher and Ms. Mulholland. So they presented the case at the last West University meeting, and the motion was to approve the project as presented with several conditions, including to relocate the mechanical room at the south facade eastward to the addition at the rear of the property. Number 2 is to retain the existing door at the south elevation, which is located under the vent, although the door may be non-functional. Number 3 was the aluminum sliding door proposed for the north facade be wood clad. Number 4 was to update architectural drawings to reflect what is shown in the renderings, including materials and details. Number 5, correct the roofline drawing in the south facade elevation to be consistent with renderings. And number 6, include a roof plan in the design package. So I believe some of those, maybe all of those, were addressed in the new approval. The presenters can walk us through that, but that is the background. And then there was one letter that was, or email that was also included in the packet. The property owner is disabled, and so some of the modifications, and the presenters will explain that, but some of the proposed alterations to the buildings are to make the building ADA accessible. So that's the background, and I can pass it over to the presenters. And
Okay, so let me just ask, Joseph, where are you the homeowner?
I'm the architect.
And are you with a company, or
I'm an architect.
just you have your own company? You're on your own company.
Yeah, for about 40 years.
Okay. I'm just asking for the minutes. And who do you have with you?
Susan Mulholland. She's our historic expert.
At your company. Okay. And how do you spell your name, Susan, your last name?
I'm sorry, it's Mulholland.
Great, thank you. And is there anyone else with you on this case? Or just the
No.
two of you? Okay,
Yes.
perfect, thank you.
Desiree, can you share your screen with our drawings?
I can, yes. Just give me one moment.
I don't think I brought it up, did I?
Okay. All right, can you all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just let me know when you want me to advance.
I'll go first. Thank you all for reviewing this case with us. The long and short answer is all of the conditions that Ms. Desiree has mentioned we've addressed. They're all taken care of. The AC room has been blended in. It is no longer there. The door is there as requested, being retained. Or have a disabled ramp to the front door, which will be constructed of materials to match the residence. It's mostly stucco on three sides with a brick entry. There was a section on the north side, northeast corner that was in bad shape, so it'll be demoed and reconstructed to match the residence. And then, yes, another ramp and a new garage to the east side will be constructed to kind of match the existing east side of the residence, which is a shed or flat roof. The original residence is the pitched roof portion. The original exterior east wall is right at the connection of the pitched roof and the east flat roof portion of it. So yes, the sliding glass door will also match the new energy saving windows, which are metal clad. And let's see, the interior is a mess. This was originally an illegal little apartment complex for the kids, for the students, and so we'll be demoing and reconstructing the interior with a disabled kitchen and disabled restroom and other aspects for our client, as well as a little bit more space going on inside there. We're saving the raised floor. It's in great condition. The termites can't eat that stuff. It's too hard. I'm going to kind of fix the surface of the flooring, repair it. And then what you see in the pictures is what we're going to do. Whatever you see in the pictures, the existing materials, we're either going to repair it or replace it as is. And the same thing with the roof. It's less expensive. Just keep it and repair it, keep the same shape, put new fiberglass shingles on top rather than blowing it off and putting new trusses. It's definitely more cost effective to do that and retain the shape. All of my little blunders in terms of architectural miscues I've corrected in there, provided some other information, etc. So we should be fine. Thank you. Still did not put that thing in there. Oh, and we did include a roof plan.
Okay, you want to show us that? And Susan, were you going to go ahead and do some more on the presentation?
I just wanted to add that the historic documentation, when the inventory was taken in 1979, it was denoted as in fair condition. It was just part of the inventory. So the condition of this house has been modified numerous times, as you can see from the existing photos. There's also been some issues with the interior where they had to break up the space to create individual apartments. So a lot of the interior and the exterior are in such a mess that it's kind of difficult to we'll preserve as much as we possibly can on both the interior and the exterior, but a lot of it is not even habitable. You can't live in any of this building. We tried to match the colors of the facade to reflect what's going on in the current neighborhood. That in the inventory, it did note that it was white with brown. There's no color photographs and no other photographs of any of the other side elevations. So these colors that were selected by the client and also are reflected in the surrounding houses in the neighborhood.
Quick question. Is there a key plan for the windows?
The window plan is in the window schedule, and I believe Desiree passed by that several times. It's towards the end of the set.
I did not include a key plan or legend plan, but it does. We do have the brochure that shows the type of windows, and and the legend showing those. But I did not do a key plan. Every window will be changed. It'll match the opening, shall we say, and every opening is different. And so they'll be custom sized for that, but they will be brand new windows everywhere.
Okay. Will they
Are we-
match existing?
They'll match the style of the era, of the era, as well as what window was in there originally. Yes, as much as possible.
Well, that's
I-
sort of vague. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
have a whole bunch of questions, but we can start with the windows.
Hmm.
In the letter that was provided in our submittal, it says vinyl clad.
Yeah, it says
which is
vinyl
not-
clad. That was originally going to go for a appeal since they were wanting us to do wood exposed windows, which would be a nightmare, and they're not energy efficient. You'd be repainting it every year. So we're going to utilize metal clad windows, wood windows, so it's wood on the inside, and the texture of the metal on the outside looks like wood. That's what's being
Okay,
used.
so that would have to be revised to say metal clad wood
It's
windows,
in
not vinyl
the
clad.
drawings. In the drawings is metal clad. That's my letter originally, trying to get it changed.
Okay, can you show us where it says that?
Probably in the materials somewhere. I'm sorry.
So I have the window schedule, but doesn't look like it's noted, right? The material isn't noted.
It has
There.
it has the frame as wood in the window schedule, but I don't see anything that says like metal clad wood.
And then there's a couple aluminum up to the top. Could you make that a little bit bigger?
Yes, so I think that
Desiree?
one is the door schedule, the top one, right?
Is door schedule?
One of
Okay.
them is one of them would be the garage. The other one would be the sliding glass door. And I thought on the color rendering by Susan, it did describe the windows.
I basically mentioned to see to reference the colors, the window schedule.
Oh, you did. Okay. All right. So okay. But definitely there'll be a metal clad.
Okay, go ahead with your questions, Savannah.
All right, let's see where to start. Do you have a demolition plan? Because it looks like you're removing an addition. And other
Demolition
items around the
plan-
house?
Demolition plan would reflect the interior. And as I mentioned, there's a small section on the northeast corner that was in bad shape that we're basically demoing and replacing about, I don't know, about 100 square feet back there because it had T111 and the stucco was horrible. So it's that back corner is being reconstructed. There it is in one of the elevations where you see wood paneling back there.
But are you
T111.
removing, am I right that I mean, I'm looking at the existing plan and then proposed plan. I see some, steps removed, things like that. I mean, again, we need a demolition plan to document existing to clarify what
forgive
is
me,
original and what is.
Forgive me, the only thing I did not mention was because it was a four-room illegal apartment complex, rooming house. We're filling in doors. And so because we don't need them, it would be an issue, especially for our disabled client having doors everywhere and a safety issue. So as you're looking at the elevations, especially the bottom left, that is the original elevation. The new elevation is to the right, showing the garage. And so there is a door towards the left there that's in the living room that'll be replaced with a window. The center door is being retained. And then as you go further over to the right, that wasn't deemed by the other committee as that historic. And so we're eliminating this alcove where there are two doors that go into the two units. There's no reason to have those. On the north side, there's also one door to one of the units that'll be filled in.
Okay. Well, since you have the elevations up, I'll go over my questions related to those. Where the ramp goes in, you're removing the sill at the second arched opening at the porch. Is that correct?
That's correct. So we can get the ramp,
Okay.
the top of the landing into the porch area.
So you're basically taking the opening in the saw cut, and the removal will be in line with that opening, like straight down, just removing that portion.
Yeah, the bottom portion.
Okay, so the plans should reflect that. What is the material of the ramp? It says
It's masonry stucco.
masonry stucco for the full height of the railing.
Yeah, it's masonry stucco, the entire ramp. And it's a concrete floor because his motorized wheelchair weighs like 300 pounds. Or excuse me, 150 pounds.
The plan shows a really thin rail, so you're saying that's a masonry wall?
It's a masonry wall with a metal handrail over the top of it. Do you need a detail to see that?
Yeah, I didn't include much construction drawings.
Oh, do you have construction drawings you can share with us then? That might help answer a lot of our questions.
Not really. It's only 50 sheets. So I'd have to take me a while to find particular sheets. So what is your question?
I'm just trying to understand it. I mean, I think when I appreciate the addition of the ramp and then using that opening to get up. But if you're building a wall, I mean, you're only going up 21 inches. You could just have open railing, and that way the porch and everything with the rock wall is still visible. I mean, that's sort of the idea with these additions is they get kind of fit in, but you can still see the historic building, the historic corner and materials and rubble wall. I mean, in the elevation, it looks like you're covering up the rubble wall. I don't see that anymore, but it exists, right? Is that the case that you're removing it or covering it up?
Well, obviously part of it's in the front there is covered up by the ramp, but the rest of it's still retained. Retaining, as I said originally, we're retaining everything and repairing or replacing whatever's needed, including the A-mountain rock.
Can you zoom in to the new north elevation, Desiree? I mean, I think the drawings need to reflect that, right? Otherwise we're just taking your word for it, right? It needs to be documented that that's to be staged.
And I originally was considering the railing that you're talking about, a metal railing, but it was axed by the previous committee.
Well, let me just point out that whatever the advisory does and whatever we do are independent. We make two
That's fine.
independent reviews, and then the director of planning and development services takes both of our comments with advice from the HPO and does the letter. So it doesn't
Okay.
matter what they said.
That's fine.
Yeah,
It
we
just-
always we listen to it, but yeah, because basically ramps are very important, but they need to be less intrusive if possible, in my opinion.
Yeah, and actually looking at it now, it should be,
Look-
I mean, if it's going up 21 inches, it's only 15 feet long. That's not, I mean, sorry, but that's going to be too steep of a ramp too. You might need to
1
work
and
through
12.
that. Should be,
It's 1 and
yes.
12.
Okay,
1 and
so
12
that'll be
is the
revised
ratio.
too.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's 1 and
Oh,
12.
it just shows, okay. I'll take your word for it. It shows 15-foot ramp, but you're going up 21 inches. So,
No, it's a 22 foot. It's 21 inches and 21 feet long.
oh, okay. So
Everything
can,
is 20 something.
So
It's a
will
pretty
you,
high. This building's pretty high.
so you would like us to have a ramp detail in addition to the elevation so that you can see exactly how high it is in relationship to the existing structure?
yeah, the ramp on the floor plan shows it's 15 feet. It shows with a thin railing, but then the elevation shows something different. So I'm just looking for consistency and kind of like what you're saying to be communicated on the drawings. Okay, so since we're on the north elevation, let me just, I had one other question on this. Do you have a photograph of the rest of the north elevation? It looks like there's a series of 3 windows there, and you're saying those they'll match existing, so 9 over 1 single hung, like a group of 3.
That's what we're trying to do. Yes, ma'am. And my
Okay.
window guy go out there and take stock of what was existing and replicate what's there.
And then you're putting in a window in where there was previously a door. What is the plan window there? Is it a single hung as well?
I don't recall. I don't memorize plans.
Okay. Well, let's go to the
Let's see
east
what's
elevation. The east elevation looks like there's 2 windows, 9 over 1 single hung. Are those existing to be replaced?
The east elevation, as you're looking at, there's 2 of them. There's actually 3 of them. One shows the existing back of the rear of the building, east building. It has that T111, a door that we're going to fill in, 2 windows looking into the master suite. So as the center one shows the 2 existing windows to be replaced with new looking into the master suite. For the garage to the right shows the east wall, blank wall of the garage, which basically covers up that wall that has the 2 windows into the master. There's
Do you
a
have
breezeway in between.
Do you have a photo of those at that elevation? I think that was one of the ones we were missing.
Those are actually probably windows from the 80s that they put in. They're ugly metal windows.
So we don't know if they're originally the 9 over 1 single hung. I mean, it's probably safe to assume if you're.
Not if they're from the 80s. They're not the original windows.
Right, but you're trying to match the original, right?
The
What you
original
think was there.
original character, yes, of the 1914 windows, which we're
Yeah.
assuming that's what's there.
Okay. It would just, I think we're missing that photo so we can verify this kind of size and configuration. Let's see. The south elevation, per the photo, it looks like there's a gang of 3 single hungs with 9/1. But in your elevation, it shows 2. Actually, in the existing, it shows like a big one and 2 little ones, and then your proposed new one shows 2. Can you maybe talk about that? Why it's different there? Is that because it's a bedroom, or because you need the
You talking about the large
egress
window next to
surface?
the door and underneath the peak?
Yes.
Yeah, new window matches that. I think you're looking at it because they had to board up some because we had homeless crawling in there all the time. So maybe that's confusing you.
No. Do you see how there's 3 windows?
Yeah.
Your elevation only shows 2 new ones.
In the new elevation.
All right, then I'll correct that.
Okay, so I guess my question is, there's a bedroom there, right? Does that mean, I was wondering if you did 2 because you needed to meet the egress width for a bedroom per code requirement. In which case I would be fine with that. But yeah, my preference would be for you to match existing and do the 3.
That's fine.
The old porch that was there, kind of a neat characteristic of that structure. A lot of times when we see infills, especially on elevations, good practice is to keep some memory or remnant of what was there, even though it gets infilled. We've seen lots of things. Andrew, Terry, you can remind me of others, but sometimes we do we propose or recommend like a recess or a reveal or something like that. So you can still see kind of that original opening, especially with like kind of the arch top. It's kind of a neat, distinctive element of the original, building. So I would like to see something there that doesn't just erase that history. Sometimes we see kind of like, well, actually, you're restuccoing or refinishing the stucco to some extent, repairing it.
Yes, you're gonna repair the stucco. It's in pretty bad shape. Yes.
And is it like a heavy sand? What is the texture of the stucco?
There's no consistent texture.
But is it like, I mean, one thing we recommend is when you're like infilling or doing something new or an addition, so it doesn't become exactly flush, you could also like do a different stucco finish, like a lighter sand or a smooth stucco finish, not smooth, but smoother. So you can kind of distinguish, the original and the new, especially when they're juxtaposed together.
I'm sorry, but this building's full of all kinds of different textures and
well, that's what's great about it, right?
Well, no, it's in an extremely poor shape and it's going to be expensive to repair it. So whatever particular texture or finish, we'd prefer to keep that consistent throughout, because it's going to be hard enough just repairing it without it falling off the wall.
So I'm just talking about the new, where you infill, expressing the new versus the old. So I'll let you decide how you want to handle that, but that would be our recommendation in terms of kind of preserving the character.
Well, the recess or a pop out of what you're talking about for this area that's obviously doable, but to just elaborate further, and there's every section of this house has different textures, just like somebody was doing it themselves with a wheelbarrow, and so it's got to all be repaired, and we're open to what texture is appropriate, but it would be preferred if that texture is consistent throughout the building. I don't see any places where different joints and things would be applicable, what have you. It's just,
so you do see like where that arched opening is somehow expressing that architecturally, either with finish or reveal or a recess by an inch or something like that.
Well, you mentioned the arch, that kind of arch or can be emulated, that's for sure.
Well, I think, Savannah, we just put that in the motion, and hopefully the director will fill that in a little bit.
Okay. The window to the right of the arch, the single, in the photograph, it looks quite large. In the elevations, it looks quite small. So I would check the size of that unless you're proposing putting in a smaller window.
Okay.
But is the intention to fill the existing opening? Or put in a smaller window? I guess that was the question.
I'm assuming that we're trying to match the windows.
Okay.
Period, with what's there. And as I said, I sent a window expert out there to document them and select proper sizes, etc., that match all them, because every window is completely different.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Desiree, if you go to the page before this in the center photo, you can see that window. I'm assuming that you would hatch the opening above it too. It's probably an old duct or something.
Oh, well, yeah, whatever. Who knows what was up there, but that definitely is not part of the window, that plywood that's up there. Whatever is there, who knows? It may have been it may have been an AC unit or something.
Yeah. But your intention is to match that existing opening, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would recommend the plans reflect that. And then let's look at the west elevation. There's some windows, some like attic windows I see in the photo, but it looks like those go away. I would like to see those preserved.
Well, the west is the front entry.
Correct.
West is the front entry, and there's no changes in our windows between existing and new.
Okay, those are not shown in your elevation to be preserved. So again, we can't tell.
The two elevations, I'm looking at the two elevations, they're both the same.
Yeah.
That's the smallest elevation because it faces west.
Yeah.
That's the entry.
If you go, Desiree, to the photographs, you can see two windows like up high in the attic. Yeah.
No, those were not. No, I don't know what they put up there. It's a strange material, what have you. But there's no way anyone ever went up into that attic. That's for sure.
My question is, are you removing them because you're not showing them in the new elevation? They are in
I'm not replacing them with windows. We'll probably put in some attic screens up there for ventilation.
Okay. What do you guys, I mean, I think that is a character defining attribute. It's on the front page of the property inventory. You know, it's called out with a dark trim, and it's very, I don't know, it's very characteristic of the building. I would be sad to see that removed as part of this work.
They won't be windows, but the character of what you're seeing, they'll be duplicated in some sort of vent like material, metal material.
I see. Will we preserve like the divided light look and everything?
They can do that, sure.
Okay.
Why not? It's just kind of it's kind of funny what's up there. I don't know what they were thinking, but there's no way that ceiling supported anybody going up there. There was never any notice of a ladder or any steps up there. So there's definitely nobody went up there. So they may have had something in stock and they just stuck it up there. So
I get it, but it's a quirky, cool,
yes,
piece of the history of the building, and I
sure, and it'll be duplicated. It just won't be a window.
Okay. Well, that sounds fine to me as long as that's in the drawings.
Okay.
Are those the 4 front windows? Are those replaced as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It looks like, I mean, I'm looking at the property inventory form. They look like single hungs, maybe it's again 9/1s. Is that the plan? 9 a light with 9 divided light and then a single for all 4.
They don't. There are no. Well, there's 4 sections to the window. Period.
It's the blue one.
Yeah.
Desiree. So that'll match the property inventory form.
It'll match. It'll match it now. Whether what opens will be interesting. I don't remember, but it's a strange looking window. I think it's actually a fixed window, so we're going to have to make part of it operable in some fashion, swing out or something.
Right. I mean, see what you guys think, but per the historic photo, it looks like they are single hung. And that's what we would recommend. Do we know when the stucco was removed on the facade?
No.
Okay.
The only
Sometime.
the only reference to the stucco would be inside the porch. That looks like the only part of the stucco that hadn't been disturbed. All of the stucco was, we were not able to find any other information on this residence other than what was in the historic inventory. So the stucco could have been removed from the bricks anytime between 1979 and the current date. So that's 48 years. It's a long time for us to find records.
Okay. All right, I'm looking at the rendered elevations now. The block looks to be painted, is that right? I mean, it wasn't historically painted.
It's not painted. It's the representation of the color of the brick. That's existing now. If you go to the picture, you'll see that it's a pink brick.
Yeah, so that'll be existing, just remain.
Yes, it's not going to change the color. We're not changing the color of the brick whatsoever.
Understood. I was asking about the rubble wall, the wainscot at the bottom. It looks like it'll be painted.
That'll be it's just the way the color showed up on the print. It'll be the same. Nothing's changed.
Okay, so that'll just be whatever it is. It's not going to get a finish. Okay.
Yeah, if you look at the pictures, it's multiple colors. There's a dark finish to it. You can't really see it in the photographs, but if you're up close, you can see that it's multiple colors. Wasn't rendered precisely to the color match of the existing photograph.
Alrighty, and the windows, can you go over what those will be? They're also all replaced.
Yes.
Sorry, the doors.
The doors.
Are they wood?
The front door is in terrible shape, so it'll be replaced with wood. Yes.
And it's like a 5-panel, 6-panel, something like that.
Pull back to the door. I think it's more of a 3 and 3.
Okay.
What should have been, it's more of 6. It's like 3 lights and then three panels below it is what the original is. And so we'll match that with the 3 glass panels up above and 3 other wood panels below.
Okay, and then the south elevation on the alley that has a door too. Is that going to be a panel door? The elevation just shows a flush slab.
And it can be, but there were, none of the doors that were existing were anything to write home about, that's for sure. But it can be because it's being retained, that location. So it can be, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I mean, I'll let the other commissioners weigh in on that too, but I feel like those should be the panel door. What about there's a new door, right, for your addition?
Yes, back there at the top of the ramp.
Okay. All right, let me just look through the other plans real quick. The roof plan, the water drains to the east off that back bedroom where you're putting the ramp. Will you need gutter? Is there a gutter back there? That's the one where we don't. I was looking for that photo and I didn't see a photo. Do you have to add a gutter back there to get that water out, or is there anything to that facade to?
I have not, but it could be added.
Okay. And then there's an AC unit also on the south side shown on the floor plan. You said that will be moved to not be on the alley side?
On the south side was actually a bump out that is not reflected in these drawings that basically have removed and inserted the AC, the air handler inside into the closet, actually into the closet where that center door is. It used to be it was going to be a false door. Now it's a real door that goes to the air handler. And so they wanted me to move the utility room to the south towards the east, but instead I just eliminated completely.
Can you go to the floor plan, Desiree?
Yes. Which way is it?
I see on the south side, I see it says AC number 2. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so we're
Oh.
using it just to happen to work out perfectly that existing door is right there at our closet for that bedroom, so we can easily put that air handler in there.
So what about the condensing unit?
Condensing unit is outside.
So you will see that sitting on the ground right there? Okay. And they
I'll
were
probably-
fine with that?
I'll probably put a little wall or something around it.
Okay. So we would need to see that too, what the proposed screening is, because that's,
It'll be mainstream stucco to match what we're doing with the ramp.
all right. Last questions are on the site plan. If you could go to the site plan. Where it says new porch, is that the extent of the addition?
At the northeast corner, yes, is a new porch, and that's
And
part
that,
of.
what is the distance to the property line there?
Well, for some reason that disappeared, but it's matches what the distance is from the existing house.
Doesn't it pop out a little bit?
It's not meant to be.
I'm looking at the floor plan. It looks like there's some, the corner comes out. I mean, it's not dimensioned, but it comes out maybe another foot or 2.
It may, I don't recall, but the site plan has been approved by the city.
Can you go to the floor plan, Desiree? Can you zoom into the addition?
Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Zoom in a little.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Just that's what I was talking about, where it looks like there's piers or the corners pop out.
Just slightly.
I don't know. I'll let other commissioners. I think that was it for. There might be one other question I had, but that was it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Joel or Andrew?
Yeah, sure. I can. Oh, do you want to go ahead, Joel?
No, you go ahead, because mine were pretty much answered by the prior questions, so.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I would reiterate a lot of what Savannah said. And for me personally, I'm just really struggling to read the plans. There's, I think, a lot more clarity that could be had here. But the 2 primary questions I have, one is on the roof plan, if we could go to that. And it's where the new parapet portions are on the north side. So how are you going to deal with the roof drainage there where that hip roof is dying into the parapet roof?
On the north side?
It's kind of right down the middle of the house. There's a dimension string that says new addition 12-inch TJI. Where that hip roof dies into the parapet, how are you dealing with
It's
that?
actually a gable roof that happens to connect in this fashion, and so there's scuppers that'll take it onto the flat roof and then off of the flat roof. It just doesn't show, and this was meant to be illustration and not a construction drawing.
Okay. All right. And then on the new garage addition, or I guess it's a standalone building, and then the new addition adjacent to the garage, is there a reason you're leaving like such a small gap between those and not just connecting them?
The structural engineer says that we have to. It'll be connected with a metal plate, that kind of a flexible plate that'll be between. It'll be painted to match. Seen, not seen. It'll be at that connection because of the structural review that the existing cannot really be touching formally the new garage addition. It's like 4 inches away, 3 or 4 inches away. Some reason he wants to allow the two buildings to move a little bit.
Okay. I think that'd be helpful to see that detail, and I just worry about creating a unmaintainable interstitial space between those buildings.
Well, we're talking about 3 or 4 inches.
Correct. It's a place water can get in, and you can never
No,
repair.
that area will be covered. That area will be covered between the two buildings. It's just they can't meet wall to wall for whatever structural reason.
Okay. We're just not seeing how that occurs then in the plans. The other question I have is the roof shingles. Did you provide any spec for those in terms of color, manufacturer?
I have the specifications, but I didn't include them in the plan because they weren't required. What are you asking for? Do you want the technical specifications, or do you want an image of what they look like? Because the existing roof is not retainable, and we're matching the style and the color renderings, or the color based on what was described in the historic inventory, but the existing roof is falling off. There's nothing, the shingles are not really salvageable.
Yeah, I normally we would ask for like a cut sheet of those shingles to be included so that we could get an idea as to their character, their format, texture, color, all of that to evaluate
Okay,
them.
that was not, when we went through with the review with Desiree and Michael, they said not to include those and just put notes on the drawings, but I can include a cut sheet if you want.
Okay. Desiree, do you know why those wouldn't have been included? And we normally
Sorry,
look at those.
Can you repeat that? What you had asked for to be included?
Like just a cut sheet or some, an image from the manufacturer of the shingles so we can see what the actual shingles look like.
We definitely had that. It just wasn't provided. We can give that to you.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I think those are my only questions for now. There's quite a list of things that I think need to be updated and properly reflected and clarified on the plans to match what we've discussed and what you've explained today. The only other question is on that mechanical room door on the south side. That's shown as a like solid door. Is that going to be a louvered door?
Doesn't need to be.
No. Okay.
This is an all electric house.
Right. Alrighty, that's it for me for right now. Joel, if you have anything.
Yeah, again, you guys did a great job looking at that plans closely, so thanks.
Okay, so then I think we should move ahead with a motion on, it'd be sort of difficult to encapsulate all these things. Either Andrew or Savannah, are you willing to try?
I mean, where are we at? I don't think, I think the list is too long to note it all. I feel like I'd want to see corrected plans, like
Yeah, I
finalized
agree.
corrected plans. It's just too much to,
See, that's what
I think,
I wondered
outline.
too, Savannah, how you were gonna form our motion.
Just,
Yeah.
I just think it's just kind of, it's, if it was like a handful of things, right? Like, I think everything that's communicated verbally sounds fine to me. But the drawings are just really lacking. So I don't know what
Well,
we
let's
can
have,
say.
yeah, let's ask Desiree, what is our time frame on this? Do we have time for them to revise and come back?
So looking at our next meeting, which is August 14th, right? So the next meeting, the Fox Theater associated expansion demolition will be taking place. It'll probably take the whole meeting. So we're looking at potentially August 28th to come back. Unless, we can do, if all the plans look good and we can work with the applicants to address the comments as best we can, perhaps we can do a quick review on the 14th.
Is there I just have a question. Since there's so many issues that you find objectable to these plans, is there any way you could do a red line or something so we know what we're fixing? I think my notes are not going to be consistent with Savannah's notes, and in order for us to move this project forward, I'd like to have a complete list. We didn't get a complete list the last time we went through the review process, and if we could have that complete list, whether it's a red line drawing or some other information that we can apply to the plans so that we can meet your satisfaction, that would be appropriate. Before I mean, we can take a shot in the dark to see if our notes match, but my concern is that we might be doing what you're asking and it's still not to your satisfaction. So is there a possibility you can send us a marked up plan set?
We can
We
help
could,
with that.
yeah, I could probably put that together. It's really just going to be annotations on the plan, but I think we need to have a motion with all of those items in it for the record and for the LAR, and then we can provide a graphic of that as a supplement.
Yeah, I'm happy to help with that too, Andrew. That would be helpful for you guys.
Well,
Okay.
I think
Right.
all four of us are in agreement with the things you discussed. And I think that if we made a general, there's some very general things that the desires, the things that will be changed from the existing need to be detailed fully. There's some things that haven't been shown. They have ideas of what they would look like. Some detail isn't provided on the plans. Maybe make a general statement about something so that we could come up with, basically your comments are in the recording of the meeting, which is of course tedious to listen to. We can't rely on the transcript because the transcripts give general things that have to be clarified with the recording. You know what I mean? They don't transcribe one-to-one, even though it's an improvement over no transcription, right? So, I think that, Desiree, you could advise on this as well, but we could have a motion to return to address comments made by PRS, and they relate to X, Y, and Z. Questions on how the elevations, the existing and the proposed are clear. What else? Just, things that aren't shown on the drawings, and things like that, so that we could make a list of those. What do you think, Desiree? But I think we have to make a motion to continue the case, really, and for the applicants to come back with revisions to the plans that reflect what their real intentions are, right? And
may I make a suggestion?
well, go ahead.
This is Joseph Mayer, the architect. May I make a suggestion? Because I don't think it's as complicated as it sounds like it is. Number one, you're concerned about the windows, and the windows are one item as it is, and I guess our comments are insufficient. But it sounds like every window needs to be reanalyzed and checked via pictures, or we site view it again to make sure that the existing windows and the new windows are the same in terms of character, which we're trying to do. Number two, the doors should match a 6-panel or similar style, that if they're exposed, there's only the front door and that south door, 2 south doors that we'll have to address. Concerning the ramp, it sounds like we're going back to a railing, which I actually prefer for the ramp in terms of the masonry. So it's a clear view to look through, and I think that might actually be more decorative in terms of that. It's really a construction detail, the one where we're joining the 2 buildings together, which won't be seen actually from above or on top of the roof or wall to wall. It actually will not be seen. It'll be painted metal to match the building, but you won't see it from below because it'll be behind parapets. And condensers, yes, I forgot that they should be sealed off also with masonry low walls to hide them from view on that south side especially, and probably on the north side also for that. And then, as I say, I'm not sure. Let's see. That's what I recall has been discussed in the conversation, mostly dwelling on windows, doors, a little bit about the ramp, and a little bit about a special detail we have on top, and a suggestion, even though it's a shed roof, that perhaps there be a gutter put on where it dumps down onto the ramp, which is actually going to be metal railing, and it's a concrete ramp because of the weight of the motorized wheelchair. I don't think it's that big of a list at all, to tell you the truth. It's just a generalization. We need to work a little bit better on those. And in my mind, it's almost simpler. It's like we do when we submit construction drawings, where we do a response letter, could be detailed in that, and then modified to make sure that we're showing things that's appropriate. As I say, it's a couple of big chunks of windows and doors, and a couple of construction details for the ramp and for the connection of the buildings.
I could make a suggestion if you would like. So you could say something like a motion to continue the item to a future meeting to review the revised plans for corrections as requested by PRS, including but not limited to windows, doors, ramp, roof gutter, and mechanical equipment screening, or something like that. And
That's
then we
good.
can work together, after with the minutes. I can work with the commissioners to make sure we have, everything notated, and the red lines, and then we'll provide that information to the applicants.
Because we'd really love to be at your 14th if it's even possible. I don't want to overwhelm you if you're taking care of that entire block for the Fox. I pushed hard for them to save the Fox years ago.
Well, okay, thank you for that. And now we'll go back to commissioners and see if that's the kind of motion Andrew, you or Savannah could make.
I've taken some notes, so I can give it a shot, and you guys can help me.
Okay.
Okay, so continue the project for review of commissioners' comments, including but not limited to the following. I have a provide demolition plan to distinguish materials preserved and those removed. Metal clad wood windows to be shown on drawings, not vinyl. Windows to match existing in configuration, or I guess I should say original in configuration, because some of the existing is not compliant, or typically 9 divided light over 1 single hung. Infilled exterior walls to still provide some evidence of the original opening, especially the south porch arch.
Yeah. Forgot that.
Dimension to the north property line on the site plan. And extents of the additions. Provide photos of all building elevations. Doors to be wood and 5 or 6 panel. Ramp to be shown at 1 to 12 with a steel handrail instead of a solid sidewall. Any south gutters, downspouts that might be necessary to be shown, and screening for condensing units.
And
What am I missing?
do we say drainage?
I
Yeah,
missed Andrew's thing. What should I say about that? The gap.
Let me see how I think I had it as provide a detail of the closure strip between the house and the garage.
Okay. I think that
And what did you say about drainage, Terry?
Well, I thought I had in my notes drainage, address any drainage issues that need to be dealt with. And again, I mean, you said in the beginning of it, you know, it's to include, but it's not everything necessarily. We could come back, you know, when we begin the review of it, but I think this is pretty comprehensive for the classes of things that need to be addressed. Andrew,
Okay.
do you agree? And Joel?
Yeah, I agree. And then
Yep.
yeah, we can mark something up and pass it around internally, make sure we capture it all, and then send that out in addition.
Okay, so is that your motion, Savannah, or do you want to reread it, or?
Yeah, let me make it official, right?
Okay, go for it.
Oh, hold on, let me find where I put the name of the case number. Hold on. All right, on the matter of SD-052-00081/TC-RES-0325 at 724 North 2nd Avenue. I move to continue the project as presented for updates to the plans based on commissioners' comments, including but not limited to the following. Provide a demolition plan to distinguish materials preserved and those removed. Metal clad wood windows to be shown on drawings, not vinyl. Windows to match original in configuration, typically 9 divided light over 1 single hung. Infilled exterior walls to still provide some evidence of the original opening, especially the south porch arched opening. Dimension to north property line and extents of the additions on the site plan to be clarified. Doors to be wood and 5 or 6 panel. Ramp to be shown at 1 to 12 with a steel handrail instead of a solid sidewall. Any gutters or downspouts that might be necessary to be shown. Address any roof or drainage issues and how they are to be solved. Provide a detail of the closure strip between the house and the garage, and propose screening for condensing units.
Okay, is there a second?
I will second that. Yep. Good job, Savannah.
Is there further discussion? Okay, if not, Terry votes aye. Joel?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Savannah?
Aye.
Okay, so the motion to continue the case passes with those details, and we will stay in close touch with Desiree on how to move this forward, and it will be continued to a future meeting, and depending on how everything goes, it may or may not be able to be on the 14th, correct, Desiree?
Yeah, we'll want to see the changes, you know, that are made and make sure it's ready to be brought back and that we have enough time in ahead. We usually try to post about a week before the meeting. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and we'll work hard on getting some clear information to you both. And thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Before we proceed to the next item under 5, I'd like to just ask who some folks are. Amanda Tronsdahl, it says MC Company or companies, I can't see. And who are you with, Amanda?
Oh, there it is.
I'm on the item 5B, Armory Park. I'm the developer.
Okay, you're with the developer? Okay,
Mhm.
or you are the developer.
Yes.
Okay, Angela Gee. What is DAA?
Dean Allen Architects, also with Amanda.
Okay, and all right, let's see then. Jennifer, I know you're from Westland. Aaron Knepper,
Also with Dean Allen Architects.
DAA with DAA. Okay.
Correct.
Marco.
Also with Dean Allen Architects.
Okay, John Burr, you're with Armory Park.
I'm a citizen advisor to the board, but I can't speak formally for the board. I can only comment on an email I sent requesting clarification of application materials.
So how should you be listed on the agenda, your affiliation? Citizen, just plain citizen?
Yes, plain citizen.
Okay, Jason L.
Yes, pronounced Lilienthal. I am recent hire with the city of Tucson, and I'm the lead historic preservation planner working with Desiree.
Oh, hi, Jason. I didn't know your last name, so I'm glad to know it now. Thank you, Jason.
Not a
Jason,
problem.
lead planner, just hired. Okay, did I miss anyone? Okay, now I've got it down. All right, let's move on to item 5 then, which is reclassification of National Register of Historic Places. The Arizona Historic Sites Review Committee will review the reclassification of historic resources on the NRHP. As a certified local government, the city of Tucson is afforded an opportunity to review and comment on the nominations and on the proposed changes on reclassification. So 5A is Indian Ridge Historic District reclassification of 8 resources. These are in Pima County, and we should still weigh in on these if we have an issue, because they will be heard whether or not the county has any comments or not. And Desiree and I have been in touch with Courtney Rose, and she wasn't sure she could. Also there's someone on an iPhone. Who is that? Does that happen to be Desiree?
I was on mute. This is Marcel Dabdub, and I'm partners with a developer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tell me that again, because I didn't catch it.
My name is Marcel, Marcel. Last name is Dabdub, Dabdoub.
Okay, and you're with DAA?
I'm partners with MC Companies.
Okay.
On this project.
Okay, sounds good. So Desiree, do you want to give us some background on these? How we should probably go through these? A lot of material came in fairly quickly. A lot's been going on. There were no comments received on 5A Indian Ridge. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, and essentially, this is an opportunity for the commission. We are a CLG, so these items will be going to the state Historic Sites Review Committee this week. So it's an opportunity to comment. If we do have comment, there's no obligation to provide comments, however. So, but we wanted to put this before you to give you the opportunity to share anything. I think we also have Scott Omack from the county here
Hi,
in
Scott.
case he has, if there's
Lots of
anything he wants to share.
Hi. I don't. I found out kind of belatedly about the meeting. I spoke with Courtney Rose about it. I don't think she had any specific comments up front. I don't either, but I'm interested to hear what the city might have or anybody else on the commission. So.
Thanks.
Okay, so you didn't get a chance to review if you agreed with those reclassification.
I did review the document with Bill Collins's comments, and I agree with all of them. I think a couple of the properties were going to be presented here that Bill didn't have specific comments about because he hadn't seen them yet. Is that correct?
No, if you look at the printout of these reclassification, the information from the nominations, right? There's comments in red that were from Bill. So for
Right.
example, on let's see. On the first page of that, it's number of resources within the property. It says contributing to and 4 non-contributing, and there's 2 additional properties awaiting HSRC review and recommendation. So I don't know. That's not part of this, though, is it, Desiree? The 2 additional properties?
2 properties. That I'm not sure if that's
I don't
referring
think
to
so.
2 in this.
That was the only thing I didn't understand.
Well, I think that would have to be part of a comment, Desiree or Scott, that we're assuming that, you know, that's not something they're gonna be discussing or that we're provided. So also, okay, it says, then on the next page, it says also 2, and then in red in brackets 3 or 4 if outstanding properties are added. So there may be some other Indian Ridge properties on the agenda, but I'm not 100% sure. You would have, you know, so.
Is it not the 2 that are in red? The 24, 22 and
Yeah.
20
I
or
think that's
70,
right.
55. So seems like we could look at it all, right? They're all there.
Yeah, okay. Well, then let's look at it all. And then basically they go through the ones.
Right. So the red ones are the new or potentially
So
added.
it's 1 and 2, right? It's the house at 7060 East Kachina and the one 6910 East Soya Luna Place. No, I'm confused.
No,
The
I
2
think it's
after
the one in the
that.
red, right? The one in the red are the ones that they don't have a consensus SHPO recommendation. So basically SHPO's staff, you know, some might have said they agree that it should be added and then others disagreed. So this is where
That's why they send it to HSRC.
Right.
For their take.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess we just go through them one by one. I mean, the house 7060 East Kachina Court. That's a property recommended for reclassification to contributing.
Right. Currently a non-contributor due to the alteration to facade. There was a burnt adobe addition at the northeast corner of the house. This addition is distinctive but does not distract from the character. So this one there was SHPO agreement on. The others there wasn't. So just as background.
But it is recommended for reclassification. I mean, we could say if we all agree. I mean, Scott, do you agree with that one too?
I do agree that it's contributing.
Is the addition the little flat part with the window?
Yeah, it's the left side under flat roof in photo.
Okay. Yeah.
Very
I
hard
agree.
to make out, actually.
Yeah, it seems in character.
Yeah, because of that tree that's right there. So, commissioners, do you all agree that looks okay to reclassify to contributing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All righty. Then let's look at the next one, which is 69 East Soya Luna Place. It's currently a non-contributor due to alterations to facade. There's a flat roofed addition visible on the left side. Visible on the left side. So is that just to the left of the roof pitch there?
Yeah, I think so, right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
That's how I understand it, yeah.
How do you feel about that one, Scott?
And they recommend that it should be classified as, or reclassified as contributing? I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's similar to the first one.
Yeah, I do too. And then PRS, how do you feel?
Agree.
Agree.
Yep.
Joel?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So then let's move on to the following two don't have a consensus recommendation, and they could be added to the above two, the change from non-contributing to contributing. So we've got 2422 North Indian Ruins Road, currently a non-contributor due to alteration to facade. There's a frame addition on the left of the original house, and that's hard to see, behind the carport, which itself may not be original. While SHPO staff thought the addition was not designed sympathetically to the character of the house, height inappropriate in materials, no consensus emerged. That's a tough one because of there's two things that, obviously it seems like the addition had to be added before the carport, right? It's hard to see from that photograph or understand. So, what are your thoughts on that, Scott?
Well, to me, it looks very out of place. You can't see a whole lot of it other than that one side, but it's big and blank and conspicuous to my eye.
Yeah. PRS members, what are your thoughts?
Agree. Yeah, it's a non-contributor currently and probably shouldn't become a contributor. That's what we're evaluating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would I say that Scott and PRS feel not a contributor?
Can you scroll to the next, or there was another image more straight on, I think, right there.
Yeah.
If we had just
Yeah,
seen that one.
yeah, this one actually looks okay.
Yeah.
I wonder like what eye level this is from.
But that's the entry to the house, yes?
Worm's eye.
Yeah. I don't
But
know. That's tough. I'm digging to see if I can find anything in assessor's map on that carport, if that was original or not.
Terry, this is Joel. Can you flip back to the first picture of this house again?
Yes.
Thank you. And this is the front door, the front entrance?
The front's to the right, isn't it? It's on the other side of the carport. Like if you look at that last one, you see the front on view, isn't it?
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure where the main door is. It could be on the edge of the carport there, under it.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Kind of where the brick
In the
starts.
second photo, in the first photo, you can kind of see it, yeah. So it looks like they built the carport over that main entry. So you're still seeing that main entry, but it's obstructed by a carport. And
I can drop it in the chat. I found the report card from 56, 57 that shows a carport and a covered porch contiguous, and it seems to match the carport structure that's there, at least in footprint.
so it was there, and that was the entrance back in 56. And so it's basically just the addition. So if you look at the addition from this angle, it's blockier and nastier. And then if you look at it from that other angle in that last picture, it seems very like you're not seeing it that much, right?
Yeah. I think I mean, I agree. It's not the most sympathetic addition, but it is to the rear. Not shocking that it's higher because there's no room for mechanical in any of these less corp homes. And the roof is sloped even if it doesn't match the pitch. I mean, it has, I mean, similar overhangs and form.
So you think the carport or some covered porch in existence since 56?
I think the carport to me is the most prominent part of that elevation when we're looking straight on. And I think that's original. And if that's the case, I think it's not so bad.
Okay, Scott, would you agree that it probably could be a contributor?
I guess I would like to see more of the exterior of the rest of the house to get more of a feel for the character of, the exterior as a whole. But to me, it does seem height inappropriate, which I think was one of the SHPO comments, or in the red. And then just the blankness of it. I mean, you have all those nice windows to the right, of the carport, on the other side of the fireplace. And then the addition is just a big blank wall, I guess there's some windows underneath the carport.
Yeah, that assessor's 56, 57 map shows like a storage room back there. So it probably had some very basic doors, but I imagine it was, at least under the carport, was blank. Yeah.
So should we basically, present that information that I mean, even it could be a contributor, but because the carport was, or some covered porch was built around 56, and so that isn't any different than it was originally, right? But the addition, we're not 100% in agreement on being okay.
Yeah, and I'm kind of ambivalent about it. Yeah.
So I think we could say that we'll let HSRC decide, but provide them with the information that carport or something very similar was there in the beginning, or in 56. I don't know, when was this built? We don't know. Am I not looking at it right? It's too many to memorize.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if they have the year. They just say from 1955 to 1964.
So 56, 57 on the assessor is probably roughly when it was built.
Right, and that's in the period of significance for Indian Ridge. I think it is. Yeah, so they'll probably have some discussion on that. So is that enough for us to say?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, PRS, are you fine with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that, I mean, Scott, are you going to send a note to SHPO about these, or are you gonna have Desiree do it with the other comment on the Armory Park one?
I don't know. Go ahead, Desiree.
I am taking notes, so I can copy you in my email if you'd like and include them together.
And then if you
Sure,
want
that'd be great.
to run it by us, we can say, yeah, that's what we said. So, okay, so that's 3, and then 4 would be 7055 East Kachina Court, and it's currently a non-contributor due to the same thing, alterations to facade, addition visible on the northeast, right side behind the saguaros. The SHPO staff did not reach a consensus and is seeking HSRC's recommendation. So, okay, the addition visible at the northeast corner, right side. So it's where that pop out, it looks like a cinder block wall. I can't really tell from here. from my bad eyesight. But to the right of the green middle portion of the house, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell because the block changes.
Yeah.
But the roof form seems consistent to me. I don't know. I think it's similar to the first couple we looked at. I think it's, you know,
Yeah,
in
I would
character.
agree about the roof line. It looks like it belongs there.
Yeah,
So
I would agree. I think it's sympathetic, just like the first two, and at least the material is similar if it doesn't match.
okay, so like first two is recommend contributor.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, Scott?
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving right along. Okay, so these are the ones recommended for reclassification to non-contributing. 2645 North Indian Ridge Drive, carport replaced by large frame stucco addition. The addition is incompatible to the historic house in massing scale and style. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out a large frame and stucco addition. So
Yeah.
is that everything
The
to
green.
In the
Yeah,
second
and the
photo, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty egregious.
Good word.
I would agree.
Yeah,
So
I would agree. Boy.
would we all agree make non-contributing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then we move to 6825 East Kiami Street. An SPT program. What does that mean? Is that the tax reduction? Doesn't matter, I guess. The non-historic period front gable entry is stylistically incompatible with the original brick windows, with the new windows not aligned vertically with the old windows. The new entry volume disrupts the historic roof line, a character-defining features of homes in the district. Okay. So there's a photo from the early one. Let's see where it's been changed. It's hard to see, really.
Yeah, you don't see a lot
Isn't
of
it
earlier photo.
the big
Yeah,
gable porch?
The third one is, so is it the non-historic period front gable entry? Okay, is that with the double doors with the four
Yeah.
panel?
Looks like it was
Yeah.
recessed, right?
Yeah, I think it was recessed under the eave, and there was no, like, that was just one straight eave all the way across.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty drastic change. Yeah.
Yeah. And
If
it's
if they had detailed it better, it wouldn't bother me so much, because there's like a gable end on the carport side that we could have responded to, but
It
yeah.
looks like there is in that first picture, but
Yeah, I think if they had picked up that language, I would maybe feel okay about it, but I agree. I think it's non-contributor.
is everybody in agreement with that?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next one is 6849 East Opata Street. It's also in the SPT program. The historic house was destroyed by fire, and this is either partially or entirely a replacement. It has no design similarity with the historic house. Well, that's an easy one, in my mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there...
Non-contributing, right? Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. 6911 East Acoma Place. A new garage was added that doesn't meet the Secretary of the Interior standards for additions or the SHPO carport integrity policy. It is out of scale and projects forward of the original house and is not compatible with the historic architectural style and massing size scale, siting or design intent. I'm trying to look at these pictures. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I would agree.
Yeah, non-compatible.
Okay, Scott Omac and PRS non-compatible. All right. I think those are all of them. Do we want to recap, or did you get our notes and do you want me to reread everything, or I probably took okay notes. Sorry, everything's flying everywhere. Okay. What are your wishes? I can just reread really quickly. You want me to? And then, because this doesn't seem to be an action item, is this sort of like courtesy feedback?
Right.
Okay. And, I would just request that you mention that Scott was here reviewing these with us from the county. So on 7060 East Kachina Court, we're okay with it being contributing, right? That was the one.
Yeah, that's what my notes show.
Yeah. Okay. And then 6910 East Soy Luna Place, we were all okay with it being a contributor, right? Because it was a similar.
Right.
Okay. Luna. Okay, 2422 North Indian Ruins Road. Scott was ambivalent. We thought that it probably could be a contributor, but we still have concerns about the massing of the addition, and basically HSRC will have to decide. And it varies the way the angle of the photograph can be deceptive, right? On how impactful it is. Does that jive with everyone? Okay.
Yeah, I think,
Go ahead.
were we gonna provide them with the assessor's map as well
And
to document?
provide them with the assessor stuff that you put in the chat, Andrew, correct?
Yeah, I can download the actual, Desiree can download it too. Yeah.
That would help. That would help. Yeah. Okay, 7055 East Kachina Court. It's like the first two, it's recommended to be a contributor. Everyone agreed on that. Okay. Okay, 2645 North Indian Ridge Drive. We agreed, all of us, that it should be made a non-contributor. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think all the rest, it was agreed,
Let me just double
non-contributing.
check. Yeah, 6825 East Kiami, non-contributor. 6849 East Opata Street, non-contributor. That was the one that burned down, right? 6911 East Acoma Place, non-contributor. And that's it. Okay, sorry, it took a while, but I think to be fair, you kind of have to look at them together and brainstorm. Okay, are we good with that? Scott, you're good with that?
Yes.
And Desiree will just send you the little blurb, and then you could even respond and say this matches what you said or whatever, right?
Okay, sure.
And that we provided courtesy input. Okay. Anything more on this one, or should we move on to 5B, which is Armory Park Historic District reclassification of 410 South 6th Avenue. I know there is feedback on this one that was public comment that was received. Would you like to summarize that, Desiree? We've all received it. Let's go over and be sure we've received everything.
Yes, I'm about to share my screen as well. So Armory Park Historic Zone Advisory Board did conduct a site visit of the property back in May, I believe, or possibly June, but then decided to put together a letter, which was included in the packet. So they disagree with the reclassification to non-contributing for this property. And you know, the notes are, I mean, the letter is pretty extensive. So, but I think there was a few reasons. Let me see if I can pull up my summary from the board. Sorry, not as prepared as I should have been.
Well, if you just want to make those conclusions a little bit larger, we could look at those maybe. Is that possible?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. So this was the final conclusion that they reconsider the supporting documentation contained in the letter and urges the HSRC to not accept the proposal to delist 410 South 6th Avenue. The listing of the property was vetted by architectural professionals, local, state, and federal officials, and concerned residents. The pre-listing alterations were known to be outside the period of significance in 1969, as well as 1972, 1974, 76, 1994, and 1996. The building has not undergone any other observable changes since 1948 to 1951, and through its continuity, its contribution to the neighborhood's history, development patterns, streetscape, and context are valued and significant.
Yeah, and they're concerned with
precedent as well.
Okay, and we received other items too, right?
So this was the letter for Armory Park. John Burr also submitted an email. It wasn't explicitly sent to PRS, but it was sent to you and me, Terry. So I did forward it to the other members of PRS. Let me pull that up as well. So he says that, so he had a comment on the links provided. So he provided the SHPO documentation that I was provided, but he did note that it was previously unavailable to the public, and that was a concern. Also, the Armory Park appendices, well, the letter and appendices were provided. I think there was some initial confusion on that. And there was an original demolition application that triggered the HSRC to triggered this delisting process. And so that, again, he was concerned that that wasn't part of the discussion or provided. And then his last comment was, as the Armory Park letter states, SHPO does not have the authority to declassify a structure on the National Register since July 30th, 1960, under the federal 36 CFR 60.15, delisting of National Register property standards. So he felt that the PRS does not have sufficient material to make an informed recommendation at this time, and asked if the item could be moved to the next agenda following the HSRC recommendation. So that was all I received.
Okay. All right.
Just to clarify, Desiree, the letter you have up right now is the one that was provided to us on the PRS website, right?
Right.
From John Burr, right?
Is it from Steve? It's
This
from
is
Steve
from
Reading.
on behalf of the board, the whole board.
Oh, I
Like,
see. Right,
John
right, right.
included
The
it as
Steve
an
Grady letter.
attachment.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
There was one from the Tucson Historic Preservation Foundation as well, correct?
Yes, and that's, yeah.
Okay.
We all received that. But so basically, didn't Steve's letter summarize some of the things in John Burr's email about the listing and who can remove it from the register, and so forth? Could you scroll down just a little bit under property listing? Please, Desiree. Okay.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
I did ask Bill Collins at SHPO about this, and he said that he thinks this is a misreading, that they do basically have authority to remove properties from the National Register, and that they do if there have been significant alterations that impact the integrity, or if it never should have been designated, like listed in the first place, right? If there was new information that emerges that shows it was built with that outside of the period of significance. So that was his feedback.
So just to chime in real quick, I'm here and available to speak on this, which I would like the opportunity to do if that's possible. Is that a yes or?
Well, that's not usually how we receive public comment, but because you are the preparer of this, Jen, let's go through the other comments from the Historic Preservation Foundation, and then myself and the other PRS members may wish to, have you chime in on some things before.
Yeah, understood. I do think that there needs to be a little bit more context here, in addition to these letters, because I think there's considerable miscommunication and misinformation provided in these letters that conflates this and the intentions of this project in ways that are just not true and patently false. So I do think that there needs to be an opportunity to talk a little bit about what this project is and what this project isn't, and what the reclassification is and isn't.
Okay, well, let's go through this, because these were public comments received by the deadline, correct? That we're going over. And then if PRS doesn't object, we'll ask Jen to speak before we give our feedback. Does that work for everyone?
Sure.
In
Yeah.
fairness to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead with the foundation letter, which we've all received.
Okay, so actually, let me pull up the actual letter. Okay. Do you want me to just?
I would summarize the points. I mean, we've all read it and had it available.
Okay, so they're expressing objection to the proposed reclassification and delisting of 410 South 6th Avenue as a contributing property, and ahead of the consideration of HSRC. They believe the proposed action is premature, procedurally flawed, and contradicts the letter and spirit of the National Register.
Sorry, Desiree, can you pull up the letter that you're reading from?
Oh, sorry. I thought you could see it. Let me reshare.
Oh, sorry. No, it was still that other one. Sorry. Because I was reading from it. And thank you, Savannah.
I was like,
huh?
Okay. So yeah, it's a 2-page letter. The thesis here, they respectfully request the following: immediate withdrawal of the delisting proposal. If not withdrawn, that the HSRC reject the proposed reclassification, and that any future consideration of the property status occur within the context of a full district-wide reevaluation.
Can you summarize a couple of the points? It's a lengthy letter, so well, it's got some more detail in it. So the points that John Levsick would probably want to respond to.
Sure. So the building was officially listed as a contributing property in the original 1976 National Register nomination for Armory Park. It was detailed with historic documentation, site-specific mapping, primary sources, and the building retains majority of its original architectural features and historic integrity. Claims that the property was erroneously listed or had been substantially altered post-listing are factually inaccurate and not supported by any credible independent third-party evaluation. The Armory Park letter provides substantial photographic and architectural evidence. The building continues to convey its historical association, particularly with the adjacent All Saints Church and its role in Tucson's religious and educational community, and that it retains sufficient integrity to convey its significance. And a concern about, it not being part of a comprehensive evaluation of the district.
Right, and PRS members, you had a chance to review, I believe, the photos that were appended to Steve Grady's letter.
Yes.
I don't know that I saw those. I might have missed them.
Do you want to just bring those up again very quickly? Desiree, please.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Appendix.
Yes, I have them. Let me just be sure the right thing.
They're at the bottom of that letter, appended to it.
Oh, we'll have them here too. Okay.
Yeah, and if you could make those just a little bigger. I'm sorry. It's just that,
Oh, never mind. I did see these. Sorry.
yeah. At least you
Okay.
can scroll through them quickly. There's the church. The background, right? And the second one. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Okay, so the roof and chimney of 410. Okay.
Let me know if you want me to go faster or slower. They're
Just keep
like
scrolling.
15 more pages.
Yeah, we'll just go through and we'll review these. So we just want to refresh our memory here. That,
Okay, I think that's it.
all right, so Doris, do we want to hear from Jen just briefly, or do we want to go through this, or?
I'd like to hear from her if it's okay with the other board members.
Sure.
Yeah, I would too. I'd especially like to kind of hear her breakdown of the chronology of the alterations and additions that were made to the
Sure.
property, especially relative to the 1976 listing.
Right. Sure. Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Again, just I want to be able to clarify some points here. So, this is a piece of a larger transit-oriented HUD project, a housing project. Housing is something that is critically important, and we have a housing shortage, and that's the intent of this project. So the initial intent of this inventory was not for demolition. There has been an economic analysis done on this particular property. And in sort of layman's terms, in order to rehabilitate this for housing, in addition to some of the other properties across the street that are part of this larger All Saints Apartments project, it was so cost prohibitive because they would not be able to pass on the cost onto the tenant because of how expensive it would be to rehabilitate this. And for, Desiree was on the site tour. So if you actually go in this building, it is a rabbit warren of rooms. It's a pretty difficult property to rehabilitate into housing, which is what this project is. So there was an economic analysis done. I was hired to do architectural documentation. I started doing some background research on the property and noticed that, as you can see in this lower picture here, that front addition, was fairly substantial. So I looked through Sanborns, I looked through aerials, I did my due diligence and recognized the fact that it's significant changes that happened to this property since the period of significance. Which, as you guys just noted, when you went through those 8 properties in Indian Ridge, an addition like you're looking at right now would automatically disqualify something for listing. I also want to mention that, we decided to look into it. So I asked SHPO to see what they thought. Largely because in order for us, if we are going to move forward with a demolition permit, the city ordinance requires different levels of documentation depending on the level of significance of the building. So we needed to kind of know what SHPO thought on it so that we knew essentially what next steps there need to be and whether or not there's an adverse effect for this project, because we will go into an MOA if there's an adverse effect. And so there's mitigation steps that we've already outlined that we're planning on doing if there is an adverse effect. So I provided some documentation to SHPO to get their opinion on the matter, and SHPO concurred that the additions to this property post the period of significance were substantial enough to reclassify it as non-contributing. So this is not an underhanded attempt to make things easier for anybody. It's just simply the way that it happened. I mean, this is, just SHPO concurred with our recommendations. I can probably the most clear thing I could do, Desiree, is if you would allow me to share my screen, I can visibly show those changes over time, if that's possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Let's see. Let's see, share. Let's see if I can do this right. Share. So can everybody see, or do you see
Yes.
my email, or are you seeing my?
No,
What?
building history. Is that what you wanted?
Okay, perfect. Yes, perfect. Well, great. Okay. So as pointed out in several of the letters that you saw, there was some concern over my cropping of this photo, but I did this just to zoom in on the project parcel. So in the far left-hand corner, you'll see the Curacao, or now the Performing Arts Center. That is an aerial photograph from 1924. And you'll see right next to it where the current building is at 410 is a vacant lot. So one of the questions, of course, the original inventory was identifying the actual date of construction. So we don't really know the date of construction. We do know that it was not built in 1924, sometime after that, which may have put it on the borderline of not even being within the period of significance in 1925. But regardless of that, there was the amendment that also inventoried this building in the 90s and attributed a 1920s date. So the second in the middle there is a clip of the Sanborn map, and that's from 1949. And that gives you the footprint of the building as it appeared in 1949. And then if you move to the left, that is the snapshot of today. As you can see, the building footprint has expanded exponentially. Again, when we're reevaluating properties, we typically don't look at anything that's not visible from the street. And so, without all of the additions to the back and to the sides, again, I think that the back end of this is a reverse of what's in the Sanborn. I think they got it reversed, but nonetheless, you can see that the front addition is fairly substantial. And typically when we evaluate properties, a change like that, especially a change that did not happen within the period of significance, that front addition alone would basically reclassify this as not contributing. In addition to that, there's several porches that were infilled. Another big no-no, if you're evaluating historic properties, some windows have been changed, stucco, things like that have been added or changed over time. So that just kind of gives you the sort of physical, ability to sort of see how much this building has grown and changed over time. And those changes have happened outside of the period of significance. So the other thing to keep in mind too, for those of you that don't do this kind of work, is that we are asked to reevaluate properties all the time. So this is not an uncommon occurrence for me to have evaluated this property or redocumented this property. The minimum standard is that every 10 to 14 years, you are required to reevaluate properties. For example, I have a National Register Historic District nomination on HRC review on Friday, in which that was the case, where I had to go reevaluate 600 properties because it was evaluated 14 years ago. And so the idea is that, buildings change over time. It happens. And so that's, part of this process, and that's part of our due diligence as preservation professionals. One of the other considerations was this discussion about that they knew that these changes had happened in the 1970s and that they still were willing to list it. I cannot speak to that. There's no documentation. There's no evidence that happened. It's very unclear. The files provided to me by the SHPO's office from the 1970s, 76 National Register nomination makes zero mention of this property. If there's an inventory form that existed for this property back in the 1970s, it's probably in maybe John Burr's files in the Armory Park neighborhood and hasn't been shared with me. But the only inventory forms available from this property are from the 1990s. So I know there was some discussion over when the inventory was done, when it was listed, vice versa. There's no mention, like I said, there's no mention of this property. And if it was as significant as they claim it to be, I would have assumed that it would have shown up in that nomination. There's no dispute as to whether or not it was part of the Catholic Church or its relationship to the Archdiocese. That's not in dispute here. What the issue really is that this building has changed substantially. And under typical normal circumstances, this building would not have been listed, should not have been listed. And SHPO concurred and agreed with that recommendation. So I'm willing and happy to answer any other questions, and I can either leave the screen up or I can take it down.
Commissioners, what are your thoughts? Do you have questions for Jen?
Yeah, can you real quick clarify what the period of significance is for the district?
Yeah, so the original period of significance ended in 1925, and then it was amended and expanded to 1945. And so as long as changes happen within that time frame, then you are okay. The only way to change the period of significance at this point is for somebody to go in and amend the existing Armory Park Historic District to expand this period of significance if they wanted to include this property based on the fact that it's the changes to the property have happened post period of significance.
Okay, and this Sanborn map is from 45?
No, it's from 49.
49, okay. So clearly the addition was done outside of this period of significance. I think that's clear to me. Yeah.
Correct. So like I said, again, we can only evaluate what we see from the street. We can't evaluate anything else that happened to the property outside of what's visible from the street. But like I said, that is a significant addition to the front of the property. And as somebody who does historic district nominations all of the time, we know, and as you guys just had to review for Indian Ridge, I mean, you have to look at the front of the building and decide whether or not that is, you know, a character, you know, defining feature, if it's altering the character of the building, it's compatible or not compatible. I mean, we, you know, and I'd also bring up too, just as a reminder that generally speaking, when we're evaluating the, you know, the facade or whatever the primary elevation is on these buildings, is that there's generally a sort of a 2 strikes and you're out rule. So if there's 2 major changes to that property, that is considered non-contributing. You know, there's the option somebody could reverse it, they could remove it, they could take it off, and it could, you know, could go back to that, it could retain its original classification. But generally speaking, that kind of alteration, the kind of alterations that have occurred to the front of this building would render it non-contributing.
Did you submit a records request or look through microfiche at all to see if there's any documentation of that, the permitting of that front addition?
What was in the assessor's records was pretty minimal, to be honest. So that's the extent of that. I will say that the archdiocese records are non-existent for this property. There was a fire at one point, which I guess is not too uncommon with a lot of library and archives, is that there's fires quite a bit. So the archdiocese did not have any information that they provided to the owner, or when we reached out, they had no information to share with us on that property and the changes to that property. So the best we can do is go through some of these, you know, old mapping records and assessor's documentation that we have.
Okay, PRS members, other questions of Jen? Okay, so go ahead.
I think Desiree answered it, but this comment about the 36 CFR, which requires the keeper may reclassify. Desiree, did you say that was not true? I didn't quite understand that.
Yeah, I asked Bill Collins at SHPO about it, and he thinks that that's a misreading of that clause or policy. So
Okay.
basically, it's
But we are going through we are doing our due diligence here, Savannah. I mean, SHPO concurred with our findings, but we're also going through HRC, you know, so that's the, you know, basically the next step, which is the closest step we have to the keeper's office. So that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
So what we could do is we need to be sure that the materials that we received are also received. Well, I know that the foundation letter was sent to Catherine Leonard, the SHPO. I don't have Steve's in front of me because of a printing issue, but Desiree, was that also addressed to SHPO?
Yes, that was the main recipient of that letter was SHPO.
Right, and Steve Grady mentioned John Burr's comments about the 36 CFR 60.15, right?
Correct.
So SHPO's, you know, in receipt of these materials, and I think that, you know, to be fair to both parties, and Jen, will you be at HSRC on Friday?
Yeah, I will. And SHPO has shared all of the commentary of the letters to me. So I'm aware of them.
Right, and so you know, so people can speak you know, about it then. And I think we need to just encourage consideration of the comments and, you know, acknowledgement of them. And we request that HSRC look at those and, you know, make a decision based on the perceived facts or ask questions and decide if, you know, because ultimately SHPO will make the decision, but they like HSRC feedback. It's like on those Indian Ridge ones where there are many of these things that go through with HSRC you know, without them seeing it, because there's consensus by SHPO. But they do rely on HSRC for another look at things. So, I mean, how would you like to, PRS members, how would you like to couch our feedback?
Well, what is the format of the HSRC? I mean, does Jennifer get to present like this, or are the
Well,
comments
she will
read?
be able to, she will be able to if she puts in, and tell me if that's your understanding, Jen. We've been at enough meetings
Yeah.
together where
Yeah.
you would alert Bill and the chair at the very beginning and say, I want to comment on this.
Yeah. So I usually do when I come to those meetings is to just sign in and say that I'd like to speak on behalf of the project. So yeah, so I'll have the opportunity to talk to them. I'd also like to remind the committee too that, the plan is for the entire project to be reviewed by all of you. So just keep in mind, this is a small piece of a project. And, the demolition is not in vain, that it is a HUD funded project. There is a parking allocation required for HUD funds to do these kinds of projects. And in order to rehabilitate the additional archdiocese buildings surrounding this property, that is one of the sacrifices that has to be made. And that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, the entire project will come to you guys. Ideally, we'd like to be able to get on in August. So I think that's where some of the miscommunication has happened, is we've been trying to get on and trying to get on and trying to get on with you all so that you had the opportunity to look at this project, so that we didn't get to where we are right now. But prior to Desiree, we had no HBO, so there's things got lost in the shuffle. And so I think there was pieces of information that were kind of going out there and everybody was getting really afraid, and there's a lot of miscommunication going on.
Yeah, so I think we just want to be, so how do we want to couch this in Desiree's notes that she sends along?
There is someone with their hand up, Tara.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. Let's see where it is.
It's John Burr.
Okay, John?
Although I cannot not speak officially for the board, they are not here at this meeting and could not provide also additional commentary. I am quite extensively aware of this particular case. The first comment is, in 1976, the 50-year rule only applied to individually listed buildings. It did not apply to buildings in districts. An example of this is the Williamsburg Standard, where recreated buildings were listed on the National Register. 2, the overall case incorporates 5 contributing properties that the developer is seeking to demolish 2 of and wants a delisting so that he can use, or they can use, the IID, which prohibits the demolition of contributing structures in the overall plan. Demolition code does not provide for delisting of properties to HPZ districts by code. It is a separate process. We have always acknowledged that the building can be demolished through a mayor and council process in 5.8.10, as outlined in point 4. But a delisting is an unprecedented situation that will open the door to potentially look at all of HPZ properties for business or development whims to declassify buildings that should be exempt because they are prior to the December 13th, 1980 date of the amendment to the original 1966 National Preservation Act orders. So this is a more complex situation than using modern standards of if the renovations happened outside of the period of significance on the front of the building that was not in place when it was listed. Mr. Collins also did the 1996 National Register listing, and all of the documents from SHPO that you have are drafts which may be revised after the HSRC meeting on Friday. That is why we have requested that you put off making a full recommendation or a final resolution on the historic contributing status of this building at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I think that some of these Mr. Burr's points need to be raised, and we need to get clarification on those as well, and on the process for delisting, from an HPZ. So, and Desiree, you had asked Bill about his thoughts about postponing it, and he said he felt it should be heard, correct?
Right, so I think there are two different proposals though. So I think what Mr. Burr is saying is for PRS to postpone your recommendation. I did ask Bill if it was appropriate to postpone the actual, HSRC deliberation, and he said that there really isn't grounds for that. So, so if there is a postponement, it would be after the HRC, right? Postponement of PRS's comments. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this item, the committee doesn't have to, weigh in, or it doesn't have to give a definitive, yes or no. It's really up to you, whatever kind of feedback you would like to provide.
Well, we wouldn't have any feedback if HSRC's meeting Friday. So that this is our opportunity, to my mind, unless I'm missing something, and that's why I said if they, one of the foundation's recommendations was that, those 3 points on the last page of the letter, and the foundation will be participating in further consultation under section 106. So I think that a full airing of the conflicting viewpoints is very helpful because, I think it's clear that some of you or all of us have concerns about the timing, of the alterations and the changes to the building. And, I think that the conflict over this rises to a different level because of what is planned for the building, correct? So it's, so I don't know what you all feel that we should say in the comments that Desiree, again, we're not making a motion. This is a courtesy review, correct? We're providing feedback, and the HPO passes it on for us because we're part of the CLG process. I mean, we could say we recommend deferring to HSRC with all of taking into consideration the information, the conflicting information that has been provided, and we'd like answers to some of those questions. And do those answers warrant further consideration, such as was mentioned by a district-wide reevaluation? So what are your thoughts, folks?
Yeah, I agree with that recommendation, Terry.
And what about you, Joel and Savannah?
This is Joel. Yeah, I agree, but I want to say that in my experience, there have been many instances that we've discovered where the listings have been wrong about whether something was contributing or non-contributing. So, so this is a difficult one for me, but I think yours is a good solution, your suggestion.
Yeah, well, I think it's difficult for all of us because none of us like to see things degenerate to finger pointing about inaccurate information. I think we're all, very concerned about it. I mean, it was just like when Andrew brought up that record for the Indian Ridge property that hadn't been considered before. So maybe because, and we can't act on sort of, we have to act objectively, and so does HSRC, outside of, outside of any pressing timeline for a development project, right? To be fair to the resource, because that's our main job, to be, as clear as we can about the status of a resource. So.
I agree.
So, Andrew, Savannah, anything else, or do you want to just, should Desiree listen to those, my comment, just summarize, and you can run it by me or run it by us? I know it has to go in quickly because the meeting is Friday. So does that work for you, Desiree? And the rest of
That's
the
fine.
PRS? PRS, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me. I mean, I think largely this is like a procedural and interpretive question, so I'd be really interested to have a summary of like the outcome of this discussion at the HSRC, just so we have more clarity when we see these cases in the future.
Yeah, and part of the issue is that due to short staffing at the city for many years now, there has not been the opportunity to reevaluate some of these districts. And, those of us that work with inventory forms that were done years and years ago and never revised. I mean, it's like the neighborhoods, the historic preservation zones, the city, no one has the bandwidth to do that. And there have been some, there's been some work on looking at some of these things, but we run across errors all the time of things that are presented to us as one thing, but they're another thing because the records are conflicting. So I think this points in a bigger direction about future priorities, I think. But I don't feel comfortable with us saying definitively one way or the other because there are too many unanswered questions. So I think we'll leave it at that unless anyone has any further comments. And then we will review quickly what Desiree puts together. I think that's fair, Desiree, since you're going to rely on our feedback.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll hear from Desiree on this. So, okay. All right, thank you. Let me now, my agenda is gone somewhere. It's here with many notes. All right, thank you, everyone. And we'll go ahead and move to item 6, which is current issues for information discussion. 6A is minor reviews. Desiree?
Sure. I don't really have any specific minor reviews to share today. We are behind with Michael being out. Luckily, we have a new staff person, and I know he introduced himself a little bit at the beginning. I don't know if this would be the appropriate time. I don't really see any other time. Can I go ahead and introduce him?
Yes, please.
Okay, wonderful. So we're really excited to welcome Jason Lilienthal to the Tucson Historic Preservation Office and PDSD. So Jason, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, share a little bit about your background and experience.
Sure,
Well,
no,
Jason, let's
not a
see you.
problem.
Yeah, let's
and
see you. If you can get on there.
I'm trying to undo the video, but every time I move it,
I'll let you see me, which
I-
is always frightening, but it will wake up your afternoon.
well, there's this little tool that keeps getting in the way of it, and I can't do the video. So I'm having trouble turning on my video camera right now.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
new
there's a little.
computers. It's only his second day, so he just got his computer
Well,
and
when I
everything's
click
set
on
up.
it to get pin and rename, I can't undo it. So,
Well, then,
but you
if
can
you
hear
can't
me.
hear, then next time, yes, next time we want to see
Okay.
you. Figure that
Well,
out.
I'll just describe it. If you see me in person, I'm bald. I'll go with that. So my name is Jason Lilienthal. I've been working with the City of Houston Planning Department. I was in the Historic Preservation Office for 5 years. And before that, I spent 7.5 years in San Antonio, where I did graduate school. And then I was doing volunteer work with the City of San Antonio Office of Historic Preservation. So I am originally from Santa Fe, New Mexico. So it's been wonderful to move back to the desert Southwest. The beautiful vistas, the mountains, blue skies, and it's just nice to return in a way back home. and be close to friends and family.
Oh, great. And welcome to Tucson in the summer.
Oh, trust me, this is much better than being in the Houston humidity.
So I get that too, because I spend a lot of time with my husband who lives in Missouri, and the humidity is overwhelming. Even though I grew up in the Midwest, I was gone for decades. It's like, oh, why do I come visit here again?
Yeah.
But
So, and I've never been a humid person, never adapted to it. So it's great to be back in the dry air. But also too, it's also nice to be in a strongly preservation-oriented community, whereas Houston is very much pro real estate development, builders, contractors. It is the energy capital of the world with all the major oil and gas companies, and any cultural or natural resource is just an impediment to the bottom dollar. So this has been a complete switch, which I like.
well, that's great. And San Antonio, though, is a good place. I mean, they're pretty proud of their history, but I think that's a unusual thing in that part of Texas, for a city, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, San Antonio is the cultural and historical heart of Texas. That's where it was first founded by the Spanish in 1718. So Houston is an afterthought, and from a planning perspective, it's probably the worst place to ever put a city.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we're glad you're here, and hopefully, will you be joining PRS from time to time?
Yeah,
Yes.
probably as much as I can. And in all the other advisory boards and review committees, yes.
Well, great. And not all of our meetings are quite this lengthy, but sometimes they are. And we'll try to. But this was kind of an important one because there's so much community feedback and so on.
Yeah. Well, Terry, to be honest, I've used to very long review meetings, especially when we had an agenda for our COAs. We've had 2, 3, 3.5 hour discussions. Sometimes we would break and come back an hour later. So I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're very excited to have Jason. I'm probably the most excited. He'll be helping out with our reviews. And so speaking of minor reviews, he'll probably start out with those. And he's going to be attending some of the other meetings just to get, meet everyone, get a flavor for the process. Yeah, so welcome to Jason. I will say we actually do have a big minor review coming up this week for Fort Lowell, the commissary and Donaldson House. So Andrew is going to be joining us there as along with the Fort Lowell advisory folks. And then we have another one in Fort Lowell, kind of in the same area. So it'll be a Fort Lowell week for our minor reviews, and there are no appeals, no zoning violations to report at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, just a couple things on 6D, the review process issues. I would like to ask you, and I think I've asked this before, and I don't know why it's fallen off there. So it would be really helpful when you're doing the listing for a case, like 4A and 4B, say which HPZ it's in. And we can always look it up, or we know off the top of our head, but it's just very, very helpful. And I don't know if that information that clearly should be in the new system, right? The new application system. Yeah. So if you don't mind, that would be great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was probably just mistakenly taken out this agenda.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then I do want to mention that the last LAR was very worrying to me. I know that folks were experimenting with AI, but it was, if we didn't have our separate review, that LAR would have gotten posted, and it had that National Register review as a demolition case. And I have no idea where that came from. And it was, we just need to be very careful with that. And luckily I had remembered what we talked about. So, and I know you were out last week, so it was kind of these things happen, but we have to be sure that nothing falls through the cracks, because it would be embarrassing to have to reject the LAR and then say that, who knows how it was created. And when I used to do the LARs, it was a long process listening to those recordings. Because
it is.
You can't go really through, you can't trust the transcript entirely. So with that in mind, can you send those motions to Desiree and myself, Savannah?
Savannah actually put a message in the chat. She had to leave at 3:43.
Oh, gosh. Okay, she left at 3:42. We still have a quorum. Okay. Why don't I'll email her and copy you, Desiree, and say, please send us those motions. She
Okay.
may have done so already because I haven't been on my
Yeah,
email,
she
obviously, because
usually
I'm on the
does.
meeting. Yeah, she usually does, but I'll remind her. So, anyway, so, item 7, or anyone else have review process? No? Yes?
I'll just mention on the minutes. Yeah, I was out last week, and with Michael out, I did enlist assistance from, another planner who was not a historic preservation planner and, not present at our meeting. So I don't think that will be a typical thing. We are, as a department, or, our section, I am looking to see if we can get more admin support, because a lot of, we have more committees than any other section. We have an average of 7 to 8 meetings a month, public meetings, and it's a very comes with a lot of admin work, right? And for a very small
Yeah.
team, so and we don't have any admin support. So I'm looking for ways to, to support us in that way. But noted about the AI, and I'm hoping to find a more of a human support, admin support to help. So, but yeah, in that particular LAR, there were some issues, and I didn't have the chance to review it myself, but moving forward, we will have more staff, and hopefully that will not be an issue
No, and I knew
again.
you weren't there, and that's
Yeah.
why we're a team. And, I'm
Yeah.
used to doing that, and I keep pretty good notes, and I do go back and I listen to parts of the recording and I review the transcript. And so, I think it's as close to being accurate. And both Savannah and Joel didn't review it, but Andrew felt it was, both Andrew and Savannah felt that I captured everything correctly.
Yeah. And thank
So
you
I don't
for
think they're
reviewing
fibbing.
those.
I make them review. They keep me honest. So,
Right.
okay, item 7 is future agenda items. So the 14th, we're gonna hear the Fox. Right?
Oh, you're on mute.
Desiree?
Sorry. So that's currently the only item I have on that agenda, just given an educated guess that it will probably need the whole meeting. But that's just my thinking. If you all think we can add other items, we can.
Well, let's see what happens with that item from North 2nd Avenue.
Okay.
And I think that one of the things that you will want to do in the future, and I know you've already mentioned this, is you'll have more staff to help you go through some of these things before we get a presentation that's so off base, that's really
Yeah.
not thorough. And that was very frustrating for everybody. And I think we came up with an equitable solution. And thank you, Andrew and Savannah in absentia. So we'll figure that out. But let's see how that goes before we go further.
Okay.
But right after the meeting, I will email Savannah and remind her to send those motions. So and again, sorry for the length of the meeting, but we had to do it. And so
Can
you will
you
go ahead.
can you copy me on that, Terry, and I can at least start that markup and then send that to Savannah as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
You mean on the email and just say,
Yeah,
send us the motions.
just so I get I have most, like, I think 90% of them, but there was a ton.
Oh
So
yeah, I'll copy you or blind copy you or copy. I'll copy you and ask her to respond to
yeah.
everybody. And
Yeah.
that would be good. And then I appreciate that. It's, we're going a little bit above and beyond because we're not supposed to design people's projects, but this thing would come back and come back and come back if we didn't deal with it this way, I think.
Yeah.
So
In the future, I think if we get like really well prepared packages that come through, it may be worth asking that applicant if we could like retain that as an example. Maybe if we have to anonymize it or something, but that might be helpful to Desiree and to staff to kind of show people when they get
Yeah.
when you guys get or receive like really incomplete stuff, to give them like, hey, here's a sort of visual benchmark. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we are. And speaking of process improvements, and I have a laundry list of things that, I want to improve. But right now, yeah, we are not doing a whole lot of, review ourselves as staff because we just don't have the capacity and the time to do so. But now with Jason here and just hopefully streamlining some things, we'll be able to do that. Looking at potentially pre-application, right? I mean, that's even in our code. It says we should, or at least that should be an option to have a pre-application meeting, and we aren't really doing that. So I think for some of those larger projects, we should have a process for that where we are doing more, or staff is doing more of that, early work with the applicant, and so it's coming to you all more for, refinements and things like that.
Right. And, we look forward to hearing, devoting some time to looking at process improvements, right? That when you come up with them, we'd love to discuss them.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I know that the new subcommittee will, that's going to be kind of hard to divvy up what they may bring up, things that you would just say, hey, I'm dealing with PRS on that process improvement. Because I'll be on that first meeting they're having at the end of the month. And Andrew, I think you're on that subcommittee too. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Or it's a working group. It's a working group. So I just want to see what they're up to begin with. And then I'm going to count on you to keep them in line. But anyway, if there's nothing else, thank you everyone for your time, and we'll go ahead and adjourn at 3:54. I appreciate everyone very much. And we'll see each
Thank
other
you.
soon. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye. Have a good
Bye.
afternoon.
Thanks. Bye.